Browns 0-8 at home. Just sad.
I haven't heard you this down since Dr. Brown got fired. It's a game that we were in, and it's a game that we just don't finish.
I don't want to watch anymore.
Why? Why does that happen? I'm so sick of watching those plays.
0-16.
I definitely do not want to watch it all 22.
That's up and down to me. That looks like dysfunction. Surviving the season 3, episode 12. We are back again after a Tuesday night Hard Knocks. One left to go. Thankfully, it'll be over soon. Live from the Baywater Studios in Tampa, Florida. I am your host, Adam. Greg's here.
Yo, you don't like Hard Knocks or something?
No, we can wrap this show
Oh
up.
my god, I love it. I absolutely love it. You're nuts.
Stupid. It is dumb and stupid.
Great job, you fucking kicker. What are you talking about? That is great. Todd Haley is he could do a show by himself, I think.
Yeah.
He has the same respect for kickers that we do.
Yeah, he's actually pretty entertaining.
Yeah. It wasn't the best week though. I thought it was kind of a boring show for the most part.
Yeah.
They skipped around. I seem like in past years they used to pick a player or two and do a lot more, and they kind of have with Cajuste and Orchard, but like they really bounce around this team. There's just so many like really up and coming young players on this team. They try to hit way too many of them. It seems like.
Yeah, that makes sense because there's so much content here for them.
Yeah, barely even got any Josh Gordon yet though. And next week's all the cuts. So the next week's show is where hearts start getting broken. It's the bubble guys are getting sent packing. It's
the season finale, so it's the last chance for everyone to, act stupid so they can get on TV.
I'm pretty sure Carl Nassib is completely playing it up at this point.
Oh yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, the whole rookie show that they did, and they do a rookie show for anybody that just watches this, and this is the first time they watch Hard Knocks. They do, every single team does like a rookie skit every year. And so that wasn't anything new. It's not like something that they just made up, but all those rookies just use shit that happened in the show.
Yeah.
They took actual footage and like, we're gonna do that.
Oh, you're saying that's not a Hard Knocks thing? That's every team does it?
Every team does it.
Or you meant every team does it on Hard Knocks?
From what I understand, I don't know if every single team in the whole league does it no matter what every year. But from what I understand, that's pretty much it is. It's sort of like your rookie hazing. That's why you have to stand up every once in a while and sing your team's fight song, tell them what your signing bonus is if you're a rookie. And then all the rookies put together like a skit, and then they always act out a skit making fun of like the coaches or other players on the team or themselves or whatever they have to do. That's always been like a standard rookie hazing type thing.
Ah, I see. Interesting.
Team building, my friend. That's team building. They do that.
Yeah.
I'm sure that started at the offices in Google, Microsoft, and it's trickled its way down into the NFL.
Before we get into Hard Knocks, we have some news to cover. Browns have signed Earl Watford from the Bears, who released him 2 days ago.
Does this mean like to pick up a guy now this late? You're either one just bringing him in basically for a tryout, just to see what it looks like in case you have an injury goes down, because it really looks like after Durango they don't like anybody, or they actually see this guy as somebody that can challenge Durango. But you got to think they would be hard-pressed this late to go, well, this guy hasn't been in camp. Durango's been here for 2 years and has had kind of, actually a lot of experience. And we're going to put this guy who hasn't been here at all, we're going to bring him in and then cut Durango. That seems far-fetched to me.
Yeah, unless he's really good, in which case he probably wouldn't have got cut.
Yeah, exactly.
So
maybe it's
apparently
just like
there was some rookies that were ahead of him in Chicago, and he was expendable. I don't know the whole story. I don't really know who he is.
And we cut some dudes also, right?
Yeah, here's the cuts. Evan Berry, wide receiver. Kevin Bowen on the line. Defensive lineman Marcel Frazier. Jeff Gray. And Ross Martin, which would lead us to believe that Zane Gonzalez has won the kicking battle.
Yep, that one's over.
Who gives a fuck?
You fucking
in addition, Julian Allen, who was waived injured the other day, came to a settlement with the Browns and has been released.
That's too bad for him. He's like a super athletic guy that just needs as much experience as he can get. Maybe one day. He's got like the athleticism that you want. He just needs a lot of game prep, a lot of practice time. So him being injured is not going to help that out. But other than that, nobody.
Yeah, big. He's free to go sign with whoever he wants now. So maybe he can catch a practice squad somewhere or something.
Yeah, nothing big. I mean, no, the names you named there, all ones that we expected. So nothing shocking as of yet.
Yeah. Still early. I'm sure that the Browns are going to play the third and fourth quarter tomorrow with a bunch of dudes that they know they're cutting so they don't get anyone hurt. In the dumbest half of preseason football, the second half of game 4.
Yeah, pretty much. So, yeah, well, that's probably what we'll talk about. The first half of this next game, and then after that, it'll just be like, okay, well, that's that. Let's get ready for next Sunday. Because everybody that was playing that second half doesn't really matter. I'm sure there's one or two guys that'll be on the bubble.
Sure. Just as they try to figure out last minutes if they have anyone close. But
did you see in Hard Knocks where Hugh handed Dorsey the list? He said, "Just so you know, this is where we are. I had the coaches put together this list. This is where we're at right now." And Dorsey's flipping through it as the. That was the foreshadowing to the future cuts to come.
Mm-hmm. Did you pause the tape and try to like enhance the video like some sort of FBI forensic detective trying to get a look at that list?
Yes, I did, and it was it's exactly what it looked like. It was pieced together with just magazine letters. It's like he glued them on there.
Evan Berry.
Like a hit list.
Julian Allen. Yeah. That would explain why Hugh's been so busy.
I've been cutting magazines all day long.
I'm not really comfortable telling these guys that they're cut, so I'm just going to do it in the worst possible fashion.
What if that's like the worst job, telling the guys they're cut. What if they just showed up and all their shit was like out? They showed up for work that morning, they just moved all their shit outside. So if you pull up and your shit's outside, that means you don't have a job anymore.
They don't have to, right.
Our cut guy, he doesn't like confrontation, so he'll just pull your shit out there. Box it up for you.
Yeah, I tried to text you before you came in, but if you made the drive down here, here's your shit.
What if they did that text? Oh, what are you doing here today? I came to work out. You didn't get my text? You're cut. We cut you, bro. We sent you an email. Right. I don't use that email anymore. Oh, yeah. Told him to get updated email list.
Go around and update everyone's emergency contact information. It's like a skit from The Office. Because Michael doesn't want to fire anybody. Shit. So, yep, those are the 6 cuts so far. More to come. We will cover that exclusively probably Sunday. We'll do a recording and talk about the cuts. I'm sure my 53-man roster was exactly correct, so you probably don't even need to listen to that Sunday show. All right, let's hit this Hard Knocks.
There's one more pretty big news that came out today, and I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about Teddy Bridgewater getting traded to the Saints for a 3rd round pick. Oh,
there you go.
Nice. Actually, we probably need the horn for this one. Michael Kendricks arrested by federal agents for some insider trading, which was apparently the team knew of something going on, but were convinced by Kendrick's people that he really didn't have a major hand in it. That's the rumor going around.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens to him between the league and sentencing or whatever. He released a full statement, so it seems as if that was probably part of some plea deal.
It was.
I would assume
had to be a predetermined thing.
Yeah,
because if he just got arrested this morning and then just flipped like that, I mean, dude, you can't do that. That's straight up rat, dude. He's a rat at this point.
Well, I think you're messing up two words, though. I don't think he was arrested this morning. I think he was indicted.
Oh, was that what he was? I
don't know.
Well, either way, snitches get stitches, from what I was told, and it seemed like he turned into quite the stool pigeon there, huh?
Yeah, well, we'll get some more information on that and pass it along. But I don't have really anything else to say about it because I don't really know what's going on. I just know he's got some insider trading.
It's not a good look, and the fact that this is another signing. We went from being like almost too clean of a team to now it's every single week we seem to have something going on in the news. And look, what he did ultimately, we don't really know. Maybe it wasn't that big, but at the same time, it's just another thing in the news that we're dealing with here.
Yep, pretty Brownsy.
Yep, we'll find out more to come on that. And the fact that they knew, but that's the other thing. It seems like you can pretty much convince John Dorsey or Hugh of anything. You could, I mean, I didn't do that. I had no part in that. I mean, the whole Antonio Callaway thing, the way he was talking, well, we believe him, We believe 100% it wasn't Antonio Callaway's weed. It was one of his buddies that left it in there for 5 days. We were told Michael didn't have anything to do with this insider trading. We believed him, so we signed him to a $5 million contract. So if you're looking for a contract, you might have some things in your past that could come up. I'm pretty sure you can sell it to the Browns that you had no part in it.
Yeah. There's sort of pushovers on some of that stuff. I wonder if that's why he was released from the Eagles. Well, apparently the Eagles knew as well, so...
Well, he's probably released from the Eagles because he was due a good chunk of change and he wasn't a full-time starter. He started a lot of games last year because of the Hicks kid that started in front of him was injured. And other than that, he only played like less than 20% of the snaps when everybody was healthy. So why would they be paying? I think he was making like $6 million a year or something. It was pretty substantial. What's the point of the Eagles keeping him on the hook? They have plenty of other guys they got to pay. So to them, it was probably expendable. That situation, I'm sure, didn't help. If they weren't sure which way to go there, and then they go, well, and he's got this federal indictment thing hanging over his head. Well, okay, that probably is the last feather.
Yeah. Let's get on with it.
That's that. Let's get into the show. So yeah, if you don't watch I was thinking about this, like if you don't watch Hard Knocks, this is probably not the show for you. Because what we do is just go through Hard Knocks and go, hey, here's what kind of happens. But I guess we could sort of wrap it up, kind of give you the footnotes of the show, even if you don't watch it. But so yesterday's Hard Knocks, scene one, right, was Hugh is in the meeting room showing the team. Here's our lack of effort. Here's so-and-so walking around. Here's so-and-so not hustling. What are we doing here?
Yeah,
so he is taking...
It's a big point of contention with probably every team.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's, you want guys going balls to the wall 24/7 here. And, this seemed like the page out of the Tyrod Taylor talk he had with Hugh is get that stuff on tape, show it up in the meeting, and that's how you get rid of it. And then here we go. Very next episode, there's Hugh doing that same thing. He's saying, don't compromise anything, and the leaders need to speak up and say, it's you. Don't do that. Don't, the leaders need to say that's it's non-negotiable. So he said, that's what he said. He said, guys will make mistakes, but effort and things, guys not knowing what to do, that's non-negotiable for me, is what Hugh said, which is a good point. Of course, guys are going to make mistakes at times, but you're not trying. Well, that's the easiest way to get your ass off the field. So then we go from there, and then we get to see Josh Gordon for the first time. Well, second time, I guess he was slightly shown last week. And then Hugh says, I just saw the big fish. I saw the fish.
Yeah, the big fish.
He's got they have secret words for him. And then Dorsey says, oh, the big fish?
Like he's the fucking president. He's got a Secret Service code name.
I'll tell it. Everything is relying on Josh Gordon, and I think we saw part of that from this last game. You can tell you need some Josh Gordon on this team for us to be able to compete every single week. Well, we'll be competing to be winning every single week. You need some Josh Gordon. Then they show Josh Gordon. He's going through the playbook, and he's pretty happy to make sure that most of the plays are the same things they were running before. So he's like, he even said, I can get out here and practice today. But they didn't let him. Do
How's it even possible for Josh Gordon to be so comfortable with a playbook, and at the same time Hugh saying, we're running a whole new system out here. Got to get Tyrod some reps.
Yeah.
Josh Gordon's flipping through the book like it's a manual for a video game you just bought. That you just kind of like flip through that you don't even pay attention to.
Yeah. I've been running these plays for the last 20 years in Madden. Right? Well, you know how Hugh is. He refuses to say anything good about Baker without mentioning something good about Tyrod. So the last thing you could do is say we're going to give him first team reps. Also, when they get to the game part, you see where they said Tyrod comes up to him and goes, he said, what happened? He goes, well, I dislocated my pinky and I fell on my wrist. He goes, okay, get back in there next series. He wanted no part of Baker getting more first team reps. I took that for sure. Oh, I just dislocated my pinky. Okay, great. Get back in there.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell is that? So then we go to what Hugh, scene 3 is where he pulls out the list, gives it to Dorsey and says, here's the list of where we're at with the coaches and our depth chart. He looked that over. That was just the ominous overtones of here comes cuts next week. So get ready. Some people are going to be losing their job. And then we go into scene 4 with more Bob Wiley, and he's talking with the offensive line. They're just it's more board work, going over tape and saying, don't be the guy that cuts yourself. Make sure you give a maximum effort. A lot of effort going on, right? They talked a lot of effort. It was really kind of a boring show for the most part, I thought.
Yeah, it was. I've just kind of jotted some notes, and when I'm looking at the notes, I can't even remember the scene. They were so forgettable.
Yeah. Well, then they go to the media. He was in front of the media. They ask him the whole thing about Baker with the ones, all stuff we had talked about. Baker is in the classroom with the quarterback coaches saying, hey, it's starting to slow down. They're going through, there's nothing big there. And then you get Jarvis Landry working with Antonio Callaway, which was a good sign. And they're really tightening up technique, talking about the finer points of playing wide receiver, different things, and they're just breaking down. That's pretty cool to see. I imagine those guys do that all the time. Okay, well, here's you running a route. Here's me as a veteran. This is the things that I take away. Okay, you see at this point, use a little bit of body leverage into the guy to make sure that he can't get his hand around you to tip the ball away. And that's the kind of things they're going away, talking about just the finer techniques and whatnot. I thought that was good to see. Antonio Callaway seems eager to learn.
Yeah, that was cool. That was a cool scene.
Yeah.
Talking about using leverage to create separation and
keeping your body in between the ball and your man to make sure the defender doesn't have enough room to bat the pass away. Yeah, and it seems like Antonio Callaway's even recognizing some of those finer points. It wasn't very long scene, but it was good to see Jarvis working with Antonio, because that's the one thing that Haley had brought up to him. Then we go to the next scene, and they're in the meeting, and Hugh calls out Miles for his headgear that he's wearing. Oh
yeah.
He's like, "What are you wearing, Miles?" And then Miles says his mother bought it for him, and that pretty much ends the discussion. The last thing I would
talking trash to Garrett.
No, yeah, well, and not only that, the last thing I would ever do is insult Miles's mother. There's one guy I do not want after me, and it's that freaking guy. The next scene, he's got his shirt off, dude. He's not muscular. He's just a muscle. It's just one giant muscle. I've never seen like it's like some Phil Heath or Jay Cutler, who are like the top of the food chain and bodybuilders. It's you're just a ball of muscle, man. I mean, it's unbelievable the gift from God Miles was given with that body.
Didn't they play some blues music?
Yeah, they said Al Green. Yeah. Isn't that what it was? So then they were playing that during practice, and Miles wanted to listen to some blues, and so Hugh put that on, and then everybody proceeded to complain about the music. We're out here trying to play football, not make babies.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's all the way up to this point. I'm telling you, it was a relatively boring,
real comedy show.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It was a relatively boring show. Then Kajus is getting a blocking. He's having who's the other linebacker there? Darren Fells is teaching
tight end.
Him. Yeah, he's teaching him 3 weeks into camp how to block properly.
Yeah.
Oh, you're doing it wrong.
Working on the finer points.
Oh, that's how you block? Oh, shit. You're right. And then Haley's talking to Callaway. Hey, you're my sports car. That was kind of funny. And he's like, you know what I mean by a sports car? Because it takes a headlight. Just a headlight goes out, and it's in the shop for the 3 weeks. and meanwhile, Antonio Callaway was hurt playing all these extra snaps because he was in trouble. So that's what I was thinking with Kendricks. Now the Kendricks news coming out. How many is he playing every snap on offense, and they're going to find a way to get him in, or on defense, and finding a way to get him in on offense? It's to really Callaway didn't have a felony, for Christ's sakes. So then you go into this one was kind of interesting. So then Kendricks is in there with Greg Williams, and Williams calls him up in front of the defense and says, "Can you give us some of the finer points with the Eagles? Tell us about some of the Eagles from your perspective." And then he goes into his scouting reports on Nick Foles, and he says, he throws a rainbow long ball, so the ball will take one more tick longer than what it usually does. For you cornerbacks, so be ready for that. And he said Ertz, best receiver on the team, in my opinion. And I say receiver because when it comes to blocking, you hit him over and over, and he doesn't want any smoke. I like that. I liked that he called out Ertz there on that. But it is true, Ertz is a hell of a receiver, and we saw that when Ward was on Ertz at the time. He was in there, and then he called out Vaitai. He said he's big, terrible feet, lack strength, and then Miles showed that to us because Miles just ate his freaking lunch the whole day. Vaitai was the left tackle that was starting, so we did get to see some of those play out in the game of what Kendricks was talking about. So that was pretty interesting. I wonder if they do that with basically any team that you had played for some time. Come up here, give us your perspective on it. Let's see what you have to say about it.
Yeah, I bet they do.
Yeah,
that would be a pretty cool. I don't know. I don't know what the value is, but
well, I think there's value in it. You got, especially when it comes to like a mentality, like when you can talk about, okay, hey, if you hit this guy, he doesn't like it, and then that's how you get him to slow him down as a receiver. When he was talking about Ertz, he's talking about Vaitai. Well, what are you going to tell Miles? Just go be Miles. That's all you got to say to him. But if there is finer points to things, people are definitely going to be able to take notes and try some different techniques that they might give them. After that, though, they had the rookie show which we talked about that they always have. They started off with Hugh showing Baker in his underwear modeling. If you haven't seen that, Baker's sitting there with a Rolls Royce, right? Isn't that what it is? And a tiger, and he's in his underwear, and everybody got a good laugh out of that. And then the first video, well, I don't know if this was the actual first one. Who was the wide receiver that did that? Do you remember?
Yeah, Blake Jackson.
Blake Jackson. Okay, he does the. It's called the What Jarvis Landry Meant to Say, and he starts off and is like, and it's just he's doing his words over the Jarvis Landry video, saying it's contagious a million times. But when he started off, he's like, "Y'all bitches except me," which was pretty funny.
Yeah, over and over.
Yeah.
It's contagious. It's contagious.
Yep. So the team liked that one. Then what else do they have? Carl Nassib, Greg Williams, and Todd Haley fight. The Baker Mayfield doing the John Dorsey. This is all stuff we've seen. That's what kind of upsetted me or made me upset about the show. It's like, this is all kind of stuff we know. They show the press conferences that we've already seen, we've watched, and we've talked about. They're just doing all the skits are of things that we saw on the show instead of, it's usually not like that. It's not of just things that happen on the show. They're usually making fun of like people's mannerisms and kind of stuff like that. But the Baker Mayfield doing John Dorsey is pretty funny. He's got he actually hits that one pretty
chomping
good.
On gum.
With
dude, the sweatshirt on,
and the way he walked, like that was pretty right on. So then we get into some more Nate Orchard's segment. I don't want to talk about that, as he's probably going to get cut, and his poor family. I feel terrible. Right?
Yeah.
And then you go into the production.
You keep showing his kids, and you're like, fuck.
Yep. Nate Orchard will find a job, though. That's the difference. And he's probably guaranteed some of his money anyways this year. It's the last year of his contract, right? This year? Yeah, I think so.
None of it's guaranteed.
Okay. So then they get into they go to the game section. They have the production meeting. Okay. Troy Aikman meets Baker and Tyrod, and John or Joe Buck. I didn't even see him there, but I'm sure he was there. And he had asked Mayfield. Aikman says to Mayfield, "You seem like the last guy that would just sit back and not want to compete for the job." And of course, Baker being Baker, he answers it the way he's answered it every single time. "I'm just here to win, whatever I can do to help the team win." He always he gets those right every time. You know, that press conference Baker does. Mm-hmm. He's good at it. He's almost is selling it where I almost believe him. So we'll see. But he said exactly what he's supposed to say there. Then he talked to Tyrod. Nothing stood out there. Oh, Aikman asked Baker about, "Hey, by the way, I love that John Dorsey thing that you did." And Baker's like, "Hey, thank you," but he hated it. Did you hear him say that?
Yeah.
It looked, Dorsey was laughing about it. I would be surprised if he.
Yeah, I doubt he hated it.
Yeah.
Right. It's probably something that I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah. Who cares?
I guess I have no comments.
Then we get Broby. Broby is all excited because he got to meet Erin Andrews. Brogan Robach, that is.
Oh, yeah. I had to go talk to her, dude. I talked to her.
Yep.
I introduced myself. Something.
She knew who I was, bro. You know? So he was all excited about some Erin Andrews. And then we got into the game finally. Thank God. I thought that was like 45 minutes of like, dear God, this is not a good Hard Knocks today. They couldn't handle it. And then we get into the game. I like the game stuff because then you just see, you get to see like everything that you watched, and then what'd they say about that? What'd they say? What happened there? And they show the Ward injury, they show the Tyrod injury, and as they come over to Tyrod, he's running off the field with holding his arm down, and they get him into the booth, the little tent that they have, and he's like, "I can't even feel it. I can't feel my hand." And the trainer's like, "Okay, is it your shoulder?" Thinking, well, you can't feel your hand because did your shoulder go out? You lost all the feeling all the way down your arm.
A stinger or something.
Yeah, and he's like, "No, it's my goddamn hand." He's like yelling. So, so it seemed like he was in some definite pain, and for him to come back, I mean, that's just a tough SOB for sure. for a preseason game. And really, when he went in there, they showed it like a little bit later. They go, okay, it's not broken. He goes, okay, tape me up. Let's get me back in there. I want to play. I doubt I would have. I
guess it was his chance to shine. He's got to get in there preseason week 3 to make sure he holds on to his tentative starter.
Well,
job.
It's a competitor, right? I mean, that's what my takeaway was. I'd like to see that out of Tyrod. I just don't know if Hugh makes the right decision by putting him back in there. I guess at this point, it doesn't really matter. Nothing was going to change. His hand was still going to be hurt. He didn't get hurt further after it, but it seemed kind of meaningless. But then, then they're showing Miles just crushing Vaitai, the left tackle, and when he gets that sack and he yells, "Yes, sir!" You know what I'm talking about? There's something that got me so pumped up about that, dude. Like, there's something when he just loves it. He loves it, man. He yelled that thing like he was some goddamn gladiator in the Roman times, and he had just killed the last guy, and he was ready to reap the benefits of winning the tournament. You know what I mean? That was one sack. The way he sounds is like that is what he thinks about night and day, is just eating quarterbacks for lunch. I absolutely loved it. Okay, so then we got Zane. Zane hits his 54-yarder, and this is when he's running out the field, and Haley yells to him, "Nice fucking job, you kicker," or whatever. What did he say? "Nice job, you fucking kicker." Is that what he said?
Yeah.
I can't remember. Yeah. It was really funny, though. So then more Haley. Hyde runs, bounces the run outside, and takes a negative 4-yard loss. This is one of the things we were talking about where we were saying too many negative plays. And this is why I like these parts of Hard Knocks, because that's exactly what Haley was saying. He's like, you can't bounce that shit outside. You can't take a 4-yard loss on an early down. He was so adamant about that. And that's absolutely right. You can't afford to take a 4. You just take your 0. You get nothing. You just run it up in there. There's nothing there. That's fine. As soon as you bounce that thing outside and you're taking a loss, you're putting your team, you're setting your team back. You're ruining your next 2 plays or 1 play, whatever you got left, and you just cannot do it. So that I'm with Haley 100% there. If there's nothing there, you get as much as you can. You get down, and then after that, you have the whole. There's like a small little Landry segment where he's missed the plays on the goal line. He's not running through. Haley says, you can't just count on a flag. He's yelling at Landry. You can't count on a flag every time. And Landry said, the guy ran into me. And he's like, well, run through him. Haley won't accept excuses. He's not going to. There's really nothing Landry could have did there, but he's saying, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I expect you to be able to make those plays still, even though you do get hit. It doesn't matter. Go make the play. But what really pissed Haley off is the next series or something when it looked like Jarvis stopped on what was that route that he was running? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know. It went long down the left side.
Yeah, it was like they were faking the screen and then threw like the hitch and go is sort of like what he was running there. And Jarvis slowed down. The pass, honestly, when you watched it, the pass is nowhere near him. I didn't think.
No, I didn't think so.
Yeah, and he stopped, and Haley goes, Jarvis stopped. Jarvis fucking stopped, yells right at him. And Jarvis yells back, what are you fucking talking about? I didn't fucking stop, balls over my head. So that's great. And that's the one thing we were told about Todd Haley is that he's fiery, man, and he will get on people. He will light your ass up. And he's done that. He has done that. Meanwhile, that was one of the skits. It was Haley and Greg Williams going after each other, going back to that rookie show. Haley and Greg Williams going after each other for hitting the quarterback. You good teams don't touch the quarterback. We'll fucking block them then. We'll block them, right? And they go, handle this, Hugh, and it's some dude standing over on his cell phone in the corner. Did you see that? How they set that up? They made it look like, these two are the there's
cell phone.
There's Hugh.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, he's just sitting there going through his emails. I was like, oh dude, that's a shot to Hugh right there. I forgot about that one, but now that we're talking about it. So not only so that happens, and he says that looks like Friday bullshit, like high school bullshit is what he was getting at there.
Yeah.
And he looks at Adam Henry, and he screams at Adam Henry. This is where it sucks. Just you're just a wide receiver coach. And he yells at he goes Adam Henry goes, you get on his ass, just start. He's just looking for somebody to yell at this point. And you could tell Adam Henry's not too happy about it. So Jarvis, I don't know if Jarvis definitely stopped there, and what his point is, hey, that's a bad look when you're putting that on tape, you're showing the other rookies that. But I don't know if it's what Jarvis could have done on those red zone targets differently than what he did.
Yeah, right.
There's not much he could do.
There was nothing there. You're not going to create something out of thin air. The quarterback didn't do anything to give you a second to get open. So
Yep.
That was sort of silly. They made up at the end, and
yes, they did.
Said you're showing the rookies this or whatever, and then shook his hand or gave him a hug or whatever.
Well, Haley was yelling at Willies. Do you remember? He goes, yeah, save some fucking energy, Willies. That's what I would do if I was trying to get a job. I'd save some energy and half-ass it. And then he turns around and goes, where's Jarvis at? Where's Jarvis? He goes, you see Willie's half-ass it? You see that? I need you to get on these guys. I'm not waiting for what did he say? Oh, I'm not waiting for the knight in shining armor. You got to do that. You got to push through these guys and get them doing it over and over again. And you got to do it over and over again because they see you do it once and they'll fucking do it every time. And then he turns around and walks away and goes, I'm sorry for yelling at you though. Which was great. That was a good part. What about Cajuce? What is this dude, like a fucking hippie or something? What is Cajuce? What is the deal with the stones at the end? And the reason why I'm saying that is because there's a part there where in the game where he goes, the moon's out, let's pull energy from it. What is that?
Some kind of new age crazy shit when he went through the rocks and explained each one what they do.
Dude.
Oh, my head feels lighter already.
Dude,
wow.
There's something. He is he's like a hippie or some shit.
He went to school at Stanford. Like that's perfect. This
is the rock for peace. I wish more people on Earth had this rock.
It's so Northern California. There's nothing weird about what he was doing. That is everybody in Northern California.
The moon's full, guys. Guys, the moon's full. Let's pull energy from it. Everybody. Pull the energy. Do you feel it? Do you feel it right there in your chakra?
Yeah. Let's go score 5 points. Hella energy from the moon. Hella energy.
Yeah. So then Baker gets in there and you can tell Haley's a little frustrated that Baker's not getting the ball out a little bit quicker. Did you see
throw it?
What's that?
Throw it.
That's exactly what he's saying. Then the defensive, there's a point where Baker scrambles, picks up like 5 yards or something, and the defensive lineman tackles him. And then he tackles him and goes, bitch ass, right to his face, and then helps him up. And then he helps him up.
Yeah. And Baker said, like, what are you talking to?
Yep,
something like that.
Who the fuck are you talking to? He goes, bitch ass.
It is funny how much they talk on the field that you don't hear when you're watching. Yeah. How much they're really going back and forth.
Oh, yeah. Like the one linebacker that's blitzing gets in there right after Baker throws it, and he's like, just hold on to it for one more second, man. Yeah. There's a lot of camaraderie. But on that, so then Mayfield throws that pick, and as they're going over to the sideline, Haley lights up Desmond Harrison and says, you can't do that. You're going to get somebody hurt, Desmond. He's pissed about it because if you remember, that's the one Desmond just got absolutely bowled over, and it really blew up that whole play. And then that was about it for the game. But I like the part that Jim Schwartz, the defensive coordinator for the Eagles, comes over to Baker after the game, and he says, I never played, but if I did, I hoped I would have played like you. I love your style. Which,
that was cool.
Those are some good words for him. And then that was basically it. He had the cajuiced and his stones and crystals, and I'm like, okay, it really wasn't that good of an episode. The only good part was the game, and you really just seeing Haley was not happy about the effort, and the production that happened on the field. Obviously, the defense had a much better day there, with the shutout. So we didn't get to see as much Greg Williams yelling as we usually do.
Yeah, I don't think Haley's too stoked about the offense in general right now.
Well, they got the big fishes back.
Wow. Okay.
So that's all you.
Maybe is.
I would be. Look, if you go from 4 weeks with no Josh Gordon to all right, now we have Josh Gordon, you're already how much better. I mean, just think about what happened last year. What did he play like what did he play 5 games last year? And every single one we actually had a chance because he's out there he averaged like 17 yards a catch. I mean, the guy's a freak. So if he's playing, that gives you a reason to expect the offense to be much better. And they already said he's not starting game 1, but I'm sure he's going to get plenty of snaps, especially if his hamstring is going to be all right because he had a slight hamstring pull.
Yeah, we're not far away. 10 days, 11 days, 12 days.
Yep.
We're getting there.
And the game is tomorrow night. First half, all Baker Mayfield, they're saying. So that should be. And then probably some Broby. Hey, babe, come to the game. I'm going to get in.
Yeah,
and some Coach Stafford. Stanton. Why did I call him Stafford? Stanton.
This should be amazing. Game 4 of the preseason is always a fun game.
First half, like I said, Baker Mayfield's it should be interesting. Plus, probably a good dose of Chubb. You're going to get to see the young guys work. Have they said anything about Denzel Ward at all? Have you seen anything? I haven't heard a damn thing about him.
No, I don't know if he practiced today or not.
All right, we got to look that up. Find out. Well, I guess we'll see if he's out there tomorrow.
I guess he's okay. Nobody said that he was going to be out for any extended period of time.
Yeah. Last I heard, they were saying it was spasms. So, all right. You got anything else?
Let's get out of here. All right. We'll be back on, what is today? Thursday? Probably Friday. We'll release a podcast and then probably come back Sunday to cover the cuts. And then we'll have a fucking preview show going into week 1. Holy shit.
Dude, I'm so ready.
We are here.
I'm ready for some real games. Yep. Hey.
We'll probably put down during that preseason during the preview show for week 1, we'll probably start throwing out some predictions and shit like that. That's always fun to do.
For sure. Have you been keeping up with the Jags? People are really saying Cody Kessler is the better quarterback.
Yeah. Well, what a surprise. Also, the Packers traded away Brett Hundley to Seattle, so that makes Kaiser the backup quarterback in Green Bay.
What'd they get for him? Anything?
I don't even know. I don't even know if the compensation was released yet.
I actually had saw right when we started it, they said that might not be the only quarterback trade. And I was thinking, Tyrod?
Yeah. No, Bridgewater went to the Saints from the Jets, and so Darnold now is slated to start in New York. Josh Allen is slated to start in Buffalo.
Are you sure? Did you watch Allen's last game against the Bengals?
No.
Dude. He looked terrible. And they all they did was they got a little bit of pressure, dude, and he was lost. I think he might have completed like 50% of his passes, but it was like 27 yards on like 12 passes or something like that. It was 3 yards a pass or
Is
something.
McCarron healthy?
No, but Peterman, dude, look at Peterman's stats are by far better than everybody's, and he had way more big plays. Like Peterman's the best option there right now. And of course, they look at Josh Allen. They love all that talent that he's big arm, moves well, but he's just clearly not ready for when people are going to bring blitzes and they're gonna disguise their coverages and stuff like that. That's where, you can put them out there against a second team and you're going to run base defenses and you're going to show them the coverage before the snap and you're going to show them exactly where the pressure is going to be coming from. That's when it's easy, When you get into these games and they actually scheme, hey, guess what? This is the things you struggle with. And we know this because we watched all your tape and we see what the things, where you miss. We're just going to run those more often until you figure it out. And that's what, that's what's easy about scheming against one of these rookie guys. It takes time. They haven't seen everything yet. That's the difference with Baker Mayfield and Josh Allen, is that Baker has just that much more experience. He's seen a whole extra year of defensive looks, and he's gotten that opportunity. So, and I'm not even, the Browns aren't even going to play him yet. So for them to just throw out Josh Allen, or really for the Jets to just be, I think Darnold, obviously, in my opinion, is further ahead than what I thought Josh Allen was. So I understand it, but I don't think Sam Darnold is just going to go out there and light up the scoreboard or anything. I think there's going to be some real struggles for him.
Yeah, could be an interesting season. Josh Rosen's also not playing week 4 preseason, so I don't know who they're planning to start out there in Arizona.
Now that's the one I haven't been watching, and I've watched almost all these games. I watched his first couple, but I didn't watch game 3, so I don't even know if they put out Sam Bradford or if they put out Rosen first. I guess I can go flip that on right now and check it out. But overall, the rookie quarterbacks all look really good. It seems like you don't want to be in the position where the Bills are and where it almost feels like they're being forced to play this guy. When you look at it, Nate Peterman seems to be the one that's played the best up to this point, if you look at a numbers aspect. But we'll see.
All right, you can hit us up on Twitter at STS Podcasts. Our email is survivingtheseason@gmail.com, and our Patreon, you can support the show there. Patreon.com/STS Podcasts. Thank you for listening, sharing the show, and telling your friends. That's awesome. So great. Rate us up. Greg, tell them what we say.
Keep on surviving.